Hi there. I have another book. See, hopefully you can see it with the shiny glare on it. It says Bunny's First Spring. Isn't it a cute bunny? And it's written by, I think it's Sally. It's the stickers covering it up. The way they put the stickers on some of these library books, it covers up the title and the author or both. By Sally Lloyd-Jones. Illustrations by David McPhail. Okay, and the first picture is not a page with words except for telling you who wrote the book, but what you can see here is the farm that the story is going to be taking place on. Here's the farmhouse, little shed here, looks like an outhouse, and then over here is the barn. Okay, and some woods and trees and a pretty tree that we're going to probably see. Oh, here's the picture I forgot to show you this. Over here, this tree, if you look really close, you can see some red dots on it. What do you think that kind of tree is that? It could be a cherry tree, but because it's from far away and you can see the red dots a little bit, I think it's an apple tree. And we'll see in the story too. Okay, the bunny was born in the spring, when the world was green and new. The earth is new like me, he said. And the trees grew full, and the grass grew tall, and the days grew long, and the bunny grew. When the weather gets warmer out, the sun goes down later, so it seems like the days are longer, but it's the light is out longer. Look at, he's looking at all the beautiful flowers that are blooming nearby. I think these are supposed to be daffodils. We're going to have those soon in our yard. They're starting to come up. And here's our little home under a tree, like a little burrow. And little tiny bunnies peeking out. New lambs came on wobbly legs, tiny chicks from hatching eggs, ducklings swimming all in lines, and one little bunny bouncing. I'll show you the picture, but there's a little more to read. Okay, here's the little lambs coming on wobbly legs and the chickens from their eggs with their mom, and the ducks swimming in a row on the lake, and one little bunny bouncing. Oh, what's up in the tree? Robin's building a nest. And that's what it says on the next page. The robins came and built their nests in the apple tree and sang to the new day, and their songs filled the air and the little bunny's heart. The world is beautiful, he said. Like you, whispered his mama. Yeah. And I was going to show you that this apple tree has blossoms on it right now. In the spring, it gets beautiful white blossoms with sometimes a little bit of pink in the middle of them. And it's very pretty. And it comes first before the apples grow. And the sun shone in the sky. The apples grew on their branches. The corn grew in its husks. The flowers grew in their field. And the babies, the baby birds, grew feathers and flew. They learned how to fly. And the little tumbling bunny grew. The world is growing strong, he said. Like you, whispered his daddy. So here they are looking at his daddy's watching him. And there's the little bunny, and here's the birdies learning how to fly. And they're saying how everything was growing on the farm. There's the corn growing in its husks. The flowers are growing pretty. Just a really pretty time of year. What season do you think it is? It's not spring anymore, because that was when the new buds were coming and the blooms and the flowers were coming up and the bunny was born. But now it's even more sunny out, and all the fruits and vegetables and flowers are growing and the birds are flying. So it's the next season that comes after spring. It's summer. Yeah, some beautiful warm days. Well, the days went on, and the wind started to grow cold. The shadows grew long, and the days grew short, and the bunny grew a warm coat. So some more fur filled in to give him a warm coat. And the apple tree dropped all her leaves. "Are you sick?" the bunny asked the apple tree, but she didn't answer. Look at all those leaves, and some of the apples have fallen off, and I'm sure they picked some of them on the farm. And there's the worried little bunny, like, what is going on? Things are changing, and the leaves are falling, and all these changes, and it's getting cold, and I don't know what's happening. Then the swallows left the barn. That's a type of bird. The frogs left the pond. The field mice left the meadow. Here's a picture of the swallows leaving the barn. A lot of times they like to stay inside and build nests, but here they are flying south for the winter. And there's the bunny with his mommy and daddy. And there's the frogs coming out and the mice scurrying. Let's see what else it says. After it says the field mice and the frogs and the swallows left. "Don't go," the bunny cried. But they had to. "Why are all the leaves falling? And why are the birds leaving?" the bunny cried. "Just wait," said his mama. "You'll see," said his dad. And the sun sank low. The days went on, and the white frost bit the earth and turned it to stone. So we just had fall when all those leaves were coming down and the animals were starting to leave and go south for the winter or someplace warm. And now it is winter, isn't it? The trees don't have leaves anymore. There's our little bunny friend. And there's the horse. Of course, horse stays all year. He lives in the barn. So the white frost bit the earth and turned it to stone. The apple tree stood alone in the cold moonlight like a skeleton. And fear gripped the little bunny's heart. The beautiful earth must be dying. And there he is standing by, like I said, by his tree. And there's the hole where his family lives under the tree in a little burrow. But everything looks so different that he's very concerned and worried. Does he need to be worried? No, it's just winter time, one of the seasons, right? From the treetops in the sky, a woodpecker pecked. Rat-a-tat-tat. He puts his little beak against the tree. I'm going to show you in a minute. And yet, and out of a hole in a tree, an owl called out, too. "Ter-wit, ter-woo," and it sounded like not-ter-oo, not-ter-oo. But the sad, cold little bunny didn't even hear them. He wanted his mommy. So there's the woodpecker going, rat-a-tat-tat. See his sharp, pointy beak that God gave him so he could dig in the trees and get bugs in there to eat. Bugs that could live under the bark, around near the bark. He would go and get some out in the wood. And there's the owl. They sleep in the day and come out at night to find their food. But oh, I forgot to show you this one. There's Bunny, jumping to see his mama in the little bunny hutch, bunny hole, bunny, whatever you want to call it, burrow. The frozen streams heard him sigh. "We'll run again," they seemed to cry. The tall dead grasses all were rustling. We're not dead. We're only sleeping." The lost flowers were singing on and on. "But we're only hidden. We're not gone." So there's Bunny out there listening, and it seemed like the nature, the trees and plants and everything were saying, "Don't worry, we're not gone. We'll be back. Just wait and see." The little fairy trees all danced together in the breeze. Next summer's leaf is furled. We're just waiting for the word. Our branches may look bare, but all our can't talk today, and all our buds are there. You know, a tree gets a bud on it the year before. So like when we pick apples from a tree, we have to be careful how we take them off when we pick them in the fall, because the buds for next year's apples are already on the branches. So these branches are saying, we may look bare, but we have buds there. And pretty soon, when it's the right time, you'll see them better. So the little bunny jumped into his burrow under the snow. So they were, again, whoop, there's the bunny tracks. If you ever see tracks like that in the snow, that's a bunny. So he had been in the woods looking at those pretty trees that looked like snow covered on him, and he ran in and went into the hole under the apple tree where his family lived. I'm feeling very sleepy now, said the bunny. Ooh, like the world, whispered his mom and dad. The sun went down and didn't come out. So they went to sleep. There they all are, Mama and Daddy and little bunny, all sleeping in their cozy little hut. Doesn't it look comfortable? Especially if you're a bunny, but at least they were out of the wind that was pretty far from the entrance and in a warm place. And remember, their fur grows a little thicker in the winter so they can handle the cool weather better. And the days went on until one morning when the bunny woke up and sniffed the air. And something was different. Below the snow, hidden in every root, inside every bud, in every seed, a secret was stirring. So here's Mommy and Daddy are comfortably asleep, but they're going to be waking up soon too, aren't they? And here's little bunny going like, oh, what's going on? And he's peeking out. And what does he see? He sees some green shoots coming out of the ground. That's exactly what we have in our backyard right now and in our front yard. We have little shoots of daffodils and tulips, and that's probably what he's seeing, and some other flowers too. Things look a little different. The ice was melting. The soil was cracking like a spell breaking. Tiny earthquakes everywhere. Up from the mud with songs came the frogs. They had stayed in the mud for the winter, and now they were like, whee, and jumping out. Here's a picture of them. Here's Bunny watching all the changes and looking at the plant shoots uncurling. There's actually a few little snowdrops or certain kind of flower. And there's the frogs having fun. Whee! Time to wake up and let's go swimming. Up through the cracks in the ground came bright green shoots. Out of the woods came little sleepers waking from their long winter sleep. And the robins came back and built their nests in the apple tree. Robin eggs the color of all the sea and sky. Remember, that's such a beautiful blue color. And they sang to the new day, and their songs filled the air and the little bunny's heart. Cheer up, cheer up, cheer up. That's what little robins say. There they are in their nest. There's her pretty blue eggs. And Bunny is looking at all the flowers coming up with his family. He's enjoying their song. And you can see everything's turning green and pretty colors again, because now what season is it? It's spring again, right? It's the birthday of the world, said the bunny. And yours too, said Mom and Dad. Because remember, he was born in the spring, the year before. And the sun rose out of the dark night and came down and sparkled on the grass and glittered on the leaves and skipped on the shining streams. The sun is dancing, said the bunny. And then he went bouncing all around. So the horse is running. Here's our little robin friends. Little chicks are coming out of their eggs. More flowers. The ducks are out, the lambs, the bunny family, and who's that happy one? Yeah, that's our friend that we've been reading about, isn't the little bunny? And when he says, the sun is dancing, said the bunny, and he went bouncing all around. Like you, whispered his mom and dad. Like me, said the happy bouncing bunny. And that's that page again. The last page. He's so happy to enjoy spring again. And that's the end, except that they have a little tiny, it's almost like a poem, but it's something that Martin Luther said once. Martin Luther was a man who loved God and lived a long time ago and was very important in our church history. And he wrote, God has written the promise of new life, not just in books alone, but in every leaf in springtime. That's a paraphrased quote from Martin Luther. And he's just talking about the wonder of spring and how God works through the seasons. All the seasons are quite different from each other, aren't they? But in springtime, we see new life, especially in every leaf. And that's the end of Bunny's first spring. I hope you liked it. Looks a lot like a little bunny I know. See ya.